All right, y'all. Religion, gender roles, marriage, success, even having children is all made up. So why are you going to follow the rules if it's all made up anyway? This is an argument that is being made by Miss Jordan Official on TikTok. She is the pro-black evangelist. That's what her TikTok says. It says she is the pro-black evangelist. So let's see what the pro-black evangelist has for us today. All right, let's go.
Once you come to the realization that most of what we believe as a society is literally made up, that is when you will live life on your own terms and not give a fuck. I'm talking about God, religion, marriage, having children, same-sex attraction, whether you believe is right or wrong. All of these concepts are made up. Women believing that they are placed on this earth to be a helpmate, to reproduce, to be moms, to help a man. Who told you that? All of these concepts are made up. And oftentimes, I believe it steals the future of a lot of women. Because who told you that? These are made up concepts. Divine order. Like, who told you that these things are divine? Who told you that? Even as it relates to same-sex attraction, the simple fact that a man and a woman can't reproduce, that means it goes against God's divine order. Well, who told you that because it's natural means that it's divine order? Who told you that? Because then we would have to assume that every single person on this earth is meant to reproduce, and that's just not true. Everyone is not meant to reproduce or have children. These are all social constructs created by men, most of the time for control. It is all social construct. Men interpreting their own understanding of God. For as long as humans have existed on this earth, they have always tried to interpret God. It is your higher consciousness manifesting and interpreting your thought or what you believe that God is. Humans have always tried to do this way before the Bible even existed. It has always been a thing. So these constructs created by men have influenced the lives of so many people. Once you realize that these things are made up by other people and not divine, as some want you to believe, that is when you will begin to have peace in your life, because you're not going to be living up to a standard that is not real.
Very interesting. You know what? I'm not upset, because you remember what the Bible says. You remember what the Bible says. Hold on. Look. You remember what the Bible says? Let me pull it up. Genesis 3:16. Was just reading this today. 3:16. Let me turn the brightness down. Wow. That is like a spotlight. Okay, Genesis 3:16. This is after they fell in the garden. It says, to the woman, he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband, but he shall rule over you. You know what I see, and it's extremely heartbreaking. There's a lot of women nowadays. They just don't want any part of the beauty and the miracle of who they were created to be. It's like, you don't want to be a mom. You don't want to get married. You don't want to live your life according to any type of moral compass aside from the one that you have created for yourself in your imagination. And then you blame God as if God is the reason for your problems, or if God is the reason for the world's problems. You know what's so interesting? People always want to talk about how restrictive God is? Because that's essentially the conversation. The conversation is one of restriction. That's what we're talking about. People always want to talk about how restricting God is, but what did God say? What did God tell Adam and Eve? He said, y'all could eat of any tree of the garden. Y'all can have whatever you want. Whatever you want to do, y'all can eat of it. Just don't touch. Well, no, he didn't say that. That's what Eve said when the serpent said, did God really say? Then Eve started adding stuff that God didn't even say. God said, but you may not eat of this one. Just this one. You can do all of this. Just don't eat that one. God is not the restrictive one. God is not the restrictive one. He said, y'all can eat of all of this, just not that one. Just one. And we hyper focus on the one thing that God said don't do. That's what we hyper focus on. And you know what? It's not even about the tree itself. It's about the fact that God clearly outlined to us what was good and what was evil. And we chose to redefine for ourselves what was good and what was evil according to our own beliefs. That's the problem. And that's the same stuff that we see to this day. That's the same stuff that we see to this day. We are constantly redefining what is good and what is evil. So I don't really understand why we have this situation where it's perceived to be successful if we just solely focus on ourselves and live life in a selfish state of mind and acquire all that we want without any room for any type of sacrifice. Like having children, being married, subscribing to gender roles as they are outlined in the Bible, which is good. The way that God created us is good. I literally just made a video talking about this. God created male and female, right? Male and female, equality. Men are not better than women. Women are not better than men. We're equal. But we were created for specific purposes that are designed to give God glory and also designed to give us a good life in the process. That's all God ever wanted for us and still wants for us. But yet, to this day, we still think that we know better, further proving his point. But you know what's so interesting and what's so amazing? God still made a way back. Even though we, to this day, still choose to redefine what is right and wrong, God still made a way back to the original intent of why he created us. Because what did God say? Let's create man in our image to be like us. The image of God is not sin. The image of God is not wickedness or evil or deception. The image of God is righteousness. That's what we were created with. And he made a way back to that original intention. But we have to put our trust in Jesus Christ. We have to put our faith in Jesus Christ. We have to turn from this selfish mindset that is so tempting, because God is not the author of this confusion. God is not the author of this division. Because also, this type of conversation, it's also rooted in, it's a white man's religion anyway. So why are we going to follow what the white man says about how we should live our life and what the white man wants for us? That's not from God. Because God said that he created us male and female. and he said it was good. And he implied that we are equal because we are equal. We are all humans made in the image of God. Anyway, that's what I got to say about that video. Let me know what y'all think. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.